This is going to be my 2018 Big Ten football predictions. So I'm going to go team by team and give you what I think their overall record will be at the end of the year. So in the Big Ten East, we're going to start out there. In first place, I think I'm looking at Ohio State. I just think with the talent that they return, Dwayne Haskins at quarterback, I think he can step in, make a big impact there. I think the defense is pretty fundamentally sound. They're a talented group. Urban Meyer pulls in top 5 recruiting classes year in and year out, and that they're experienced, they're good. Urban Meyer, he's suspended for the first 3 games. That might have a little bit of a factor, but at the end of the day, I don't think it's going to really affect them. Oregon State, Rutgers, TCU, they're not all that great of teams. TCU, they have to watch out though. I think they're going to get it done. The only loss that the losses that I think they could the games I think that they could lose. Michigan, I think, could be a loss. Michigan State could be a loss, and I think Penn State could be a loss as well, and possibly TCU. I picked them to go 11-1 and 8-1 in the conference with a loss to Penn State, and the reason why is because I just think there's a little bit of inexperience, in that Ohio State room, especially at quarterback. And I think Penn State's going to be ready for Ohio State at home, and I think they're going to be pumped up, and I think they're going to pull out a win there. But I think it's going to be close, and I don't think Ohio State's going to lose by a lot. And Michigan, I think, could beat them. I also think Michigan State could probably beat them as well. Second place in the division, I got Penn State. I got them going 10-2 and 7-2 in the conference. There's for Penn State, it's a team that I'm a fan of. I really thought they might go 9-3, but I just see a little bit too much talent. I think that the games that are the most first off, I think they to go 10-2, they're gonna have to make sure they don't drop any games to like Appalachian State, Pitt, Kent State, Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Rutgers, Maryland. Any of those games they really can't drop. Ohio State. I feel like Ohio State and Wisconsin is kind of like feels like a split. It kind of feels like we're probably going to win one of them, but we'll probably lose one as well. And then I think Michigan State, I think that feels like we're going to lose one as well. So I think that at the end of the day, I have us losing to Michigan away. I think Michigan's a talented football team. They're a little young, but they're good. Defensively, they're very good. I think Shea Patterson at quarterback offensively is really going to be a big job for them. And I think they're going to lose to Wisconsin back-to-back weeks. I hope that doesn't happen because that would kill me. Ohio State, I think, I think we got a good chance. Michigan State, we got a bye week. I think Michigan State caught us by surprise last year. I don't think that'll happen this year. I think we're gonna go them. We're gonna win, but that's a game. Michigan State's a very good team, and we can't, let them get by. Third in the Big Ten East, I got Michigan State. I got them going 10-2 with losses to Ohio State and with a loss to Wisconsin, I believe. I think they're gonna beat Michigan at home, and I think they're going to beat um, uh, the other teams, but I got them losing to Ohio State and Penn State, not Wisconsin. My bad. But there are some games on the schedule. They got to show up. They got to take care of business because Michigan State's not the most talented team, but they have good coaching and good discipline. And I think they can get it done. At fourth in the division, this is a really really good division because Michigan, I could see them winning this division honestly. They got the talent defensively. Offensively, they got Shea Patterson. There are a little bit of question marks at receiver. They got a good running back. The O line is pretty good. They got a pretty good tight end. So this is a pretty good, talented football team. But the schedule is brutal. Ohio State is a tough game always. It's a home game for them. I could see them winning that game, but I just don't know. Michigan State away. Michigan State, they're going to be ready for that game as always. And Penn State at home is not going to be an easy game for Michigan State either. And they also get Wisconsin at home as well, which won't be easy. I'm thinking, Wisconsin, Penn State, I think it's going to be kind of like a split. I think Michigan State, Ohio State feels like a split, and I think they might lose to Notre Dame also. I think, 9-3. I was like 9-3, maybe 10-2, but I don't know. I just honestly, I honestly feel like they could be 10-2, but I'm gonna go with 9-3. and 6-3 in the and 7-2 in the conference, but with a loss to Notre Dame, because they got to go to Northwestern. That's not going to be that easy. There's a lot of games where they could trip up, and like Penn State, there's a lot of games where Penn State could trip up too. But I got them going 10-2, and Michigan going 9-3. Then in the rest of the division, I got Indiana going 5-7, Maryland going 5-7, and Rutgers going 5-7. All together, I got Indiana at 5 with 3-6 conference record, Maryland with a 3-6 conference record, and Rutgers with a 2-7 conference record. I think that I don't really think any of those teams are really ready to beat any of the top tier teams in the division, but I do think that they can get wins in crossover games. I'm not going to go team by team breakdown, but I think Indiana, depending upon where the game's played, I think Indiana has a chance, and I think depending upon where the game is played within the three of them, I think each one has a chance to beat each other. So that's how I see it. I think Indiana is a good team, but they lost some talent. Maryland, they're a talented team, but they're young still, and they got all that turmoil with DJ Durkin. And Rutgers, they're getting better, but I don't know if they're quite where they need to be able to challenge the top tier teams in the division. Moving on to the West, I got Wisconsin finishing first at 10-2 and 7-2 in the conference, with losses to I have them losing to Michigan, and I have them losing to Iowa. Iowa is a tough place to play. I got a feeling that Iowa is just going to come out and they're going to win. We saw what happened. Penn State almost lost to them, and they outgained them by 300 yards last year in that game. Penn State killed them in that game, and they still almost lost. And Ohio State got killed by them, by 31 points. So I do think that Wisconsin is the heavy favorite. I'd be very surprised if they don't win it. They got the talent at running back. They got not a great quarterback, but he's serviceable enough. The O-line is amazing. They don't really got a lot of receivers, but they're going to run the ball, play old school ball with the big boys, on each side of the line. They're going to out-physical you, and they're just a good team. A very big, physical, kind of SEC-like team when you think about it. Not really a Big Ten team, but Wisconsin does kind of have that appeal sometimes. So Iowa, I have them going 8-4 and 6-3. I got them losing to Iowa State, and I got them losing to Penn State. I have them losing to Purdue, and I have them losing to Indiana as well. I think they're going to get upset a couple times. I think this team's okay. I just think that they're a different team away from home. At home, I think they're good. I'm giving them that Wisconsin game, but people are saying, the Penn State Iowa game is going to be kind of close. I'm like, it could be close, but I honestly think there's other games that are going to be harder for Penn State because Iowa is a good team, but I don't know. I just they got some question marks in some areas, and they don't recruit well. They're not really that talented, but they know how to win games, and that's what matters at the end of the day. Next, I got Northwestern at 6-6 and 4-5 in the conference. Same thing with Purdue. They're playing tonight. That should be a good game. So, both of those teams, I think it's a tough schedule. Like these schedules are tough for Northwestern. Like when you look at this schedule, I don't think they're going to beat Notre Dame. And then I think they're going to lose to Michigan. I think they're going to lose to Michigan State. I think they're going to lose to Wisconsin. I see a loss to Iowa. And there's 6 games right there, including Notre Dame. So these schedules are tough, and I think that there's just areas where they got to get better, and same thing with Purdue. But I think they are getting better, and I think a bowl game is very reasonable. Next, I got Nebraska at 6-6. I do see an improvement in Scott Frost's first year. The schedule's not that bad. I do think that they're going to make an improvement. They lose Tanner Lee at quarterback. That's not going to be easy to replace him. But this is a Nebraska team that's going to be a little bit more motivated and ready to play, and I think at the end of the day, that's going to make the difference between a bowl team and not a bowl team for Nebraska. It's going to take Scott Frost a few years to get going. And then at the bottom of the division, I got Minnesota at 5-7 and Illinois at 3-9. 2-7 in the conference for Minnesota, 1-8 in the conference for Illinois. Minnesota's not a bad team. I think that they're getting better, and I think that they continue to be good. Illinois, good team, not really. Not really. Illinois is not a good team, but they're young. They're kind of somewhat talented, I guess. But if they, you can't overlook them because they're going to be motivated and they're going to be ready to play. But the way you beat Illinois is you got it and you kill them in the first quarter, and then they're probably going to be heading home probably because they know they have no chance. So that's my pick. Overall, at the end of the year, I think Ohio State and Wisconsin in the Big Ten Championship. I got Ohio State winning. Ohio State in the college football playoff. Wisconsin in New Year's Six Bowl. Penn State in New Year's Six Bowl. Michigan or Michigan State in New Year's Six Bowl, depending upon what they think. And then whoever isn't in it, Holiday Bowl will be Michigan or Michigan State. Outback Bowl, Iowa. TaxSlayer Bowl, Northwestern, Foster Farms Bowl, Nebraska, and the Pinstripe Bowl, Purdue. And maybe Indiana, Maryland, and Rutgers might get a bowl game depending upon, honestly, they shouldn't. They're 5-7. If they are, that's a losing record. Losers don't belong in bowls. That's how I see it. So that's my video, guys. Peace out.